Hours, or perhaps days, passed. In the garden beyond the gate, time didn't flow the same way. The moon drifted slowly across the sky, but it never seemed to fade. Sometimes Clara would walk along the stream, tracing the glimmer of its surface. Sometimes she would lie in the grass and listen to the hum beneath the earth, like a heartbeat pulsing in harmony with her own. She dreamed, though she wasn't asleep. In one dream, she was a child again, sitting in her grandmother's garden, listening to the bees. In another, she floated above the clouds, her body made of starlight. Every dream left her lighter, more at peace. The woman, the guardian of the garden, as Clara began to think of her, visited often. They spoke little, words weren't needed. Sometimes the woman would hum a soft tune that made the flowers open wider, or touch the surface of the stream, sending ripples of light across the water. One night, Clara asked, "Will I ever have to leave?" The woman smiled, her gaze warm and distant. "Everyone does, eventually. The world still calls for you. Your path, your story. But you may return whenever you close your eyes and remember the sound of this place. The garden will wait." Clara felt no sadness, only gratitude. "Then I'll remember." The woman nodded. "Good. And when you do, listen for the silence. It is not empty. It is full of life." When dawn finally came, it did not come in a rush of light. Instead, the stars simply faded, one by one, as if tucking themselves to sleep. The garden shimmered softly, and the willow's branches swayed in a silent farewell. Clara rose from the bench and looked toward the gate. It stood open, sunlight spilling through. The woman was nowhere to be seen, but Clara felt her presence all around, in the warmth of the air, in the whisper of the leaves, in the calm inside her chest. She stepped through the gate, and the sound of the world returned, the rustle of the wind, the distant cry of seabirds, the gentle rhythm of her own footsteps. But the noise that had once filled her mind was gone. In its place was stillness, deep and clear, like the stream in the garden. As she walked down the path, she wandered deeper among the flowers until she came to a great willow tree standing near the stream. Its long silver-green branches swayed in a breeze she couldn't feel. Beneath it sat an old wooden bench, smooth from time and weather. She sat down, setting her pack beside her, and looked around. The longer she stayed, the stranger it felt. Not frightening, but otherworldly. The light did not fade as the evening deepened. Instead, it seemed to grow warmer, softer, as if the stars had drifted down from the heavens to rest in the garden. Somewhere nearby, she heard the faint sound of chimes. Not wind chimes, but something more natural, as if the flowers themselves were singing. She closed her eyes and listened. The air carried the sound of water, leaves, and faraway laughter, like the memory of a joyful moment she couldn't quite recall. Her body relaxed completely, every muscle releasing. It was as though the garden had drawn all the heaviness out of her, leaving her weightless and calm. When she opened her eyes again, the night had come. Though the garden was still softly lit, the moon hung low, bright and round, and the stars reflected in the stream as if they'd fallen gently into it. A soft voice spoke behind her. "You've come a long way, haven't you?" Clara turned. A woman stood by the willow, her dress woven of light and mist. Her eyes were kind, her smile patient, as though she had been waiting a long time. "I didn't mean to intrude," Clara said, her voice barely a whisper. "I just followed the path." The woman nodded. "Few find it. Fewer still stay. This is the garden beyond the gate, a place between time and dream. It welcomes those who have forgotten how to rest." Clara blinked. "Between time and dream?" "Yes," the woman said, her voice like wind through leaves. "Here the world sleeps. The stars breathe. The heart remembers how to be quiet." She stepped closer and sat beside Clara on the bench. "You've carried noise with you for many years, haven't you? The kind that fills the mind and leaves no room for stillness." Clara. There was once a quiet traveler named Clara, who spent her life wandering from one town to another. She wasn't searching for treasure or fame, only for peace. The world, as she knew it, was full of noise. The rumble of carriages on cobblestone streets, the chatter of marketplaces, the endless rush of people always in a hurry to be somewhere else. Clara had grown tired of it all. She wanted silence, not the kind that felt lonely, but the kind that felt alive, filled with the soft hum of nature and the gentle breath of wind. So one early morning, just as the sun began to rise behind the distant hills, she left the city behind. She carried only a small pack, a book of poems, and a silver compass that had once belonged to her grandmother. The road wound through meadows and woods, over gentle streams and mossy bridges. As the day passed, she felt lighter, as though every step took her further away from the heaviness of the world. The air grew softer, filled with the scent of lavender and pine. Somewhere far ahead, she heard the faint song of birds she didn't recognize, notes that rose and fell like whispers of forgotten dreams. By the time the sun began to sink, Clara found herself at the edge of an ancient forest. The trees were tall and still, their branches forming a canopy that glowed with the last light of day. She hesitated for a moment, unsure if she should go on, but something in the air called to her, a promise of rest, perhaps, or a feeling that something gentle waited within. She followed the path until she came to an old iron gate, half covered in ivy. It looked as though it hadn't been opened in many years. Beyond it, she could see faint glimmers of light. Not firelight nor lanterns, but something softer, like starlight caught in motion. She reached out, touched the cool metal, and the gate creaked open with a sigh. On the other side was a garden unlike any she had ever seen. The air shimmered faintly, and everything, every leaf, every petal seemed to glow from within. Flowers bloomed in colors she couldn't name, their shapes delicate and dreamlike. A small stream wound its way through the garden, its waters so clear it reflected the stars above.